Hello everyone, and welcome to anime reviews from a female point of view. I'm MrsNinjaMuffin, and today we will be talking about Naruto chapter 699 and 700, the very last chapters of Naruto, so I'm very excited. I have finally caught up. I know if you watch my old videos, I know it came out about a week ago. But like I said, I was waiting for a friend so we could read it together, and we started it together, we'll finish it together type of thing. So I'm finally caught up, and I'm very excited to talk about it. So let's get started. So, chapter 699 was probably the chapter that I really enjoyed, other than 698, just because it had a lot of development for Sasuke. Now, Sasuke has been one of the main characters for this whole time. However, we see his attitude, we see his actions, but we never get to see like his inner thoughts and turmoil. And I think that was so important in chapter 699, because he's over here, he's kind of doing this little monologue thing where he's like, I understand what you mean when you said you were a brother to me. No matter what I did, no matter how far I pushed you away, you kept coming back, and you came back even stronger with a stronger want. And you never gave up on me. You were always my friend. And I just think it's nice to finally get kind of Sasuke's inner feelings and emotions, because throughout the past 15 years we've never gotten that. We've always gotten that from Naruto and Sakura. We know why they are the way they are. We've gotten this huge past about them, and they reflect their inner feelings and emotions a lot. However, Sasuke was the one piece that we've never really gotten that from. So I was really happy to really see this side of Sasuke, because he was kind of turning into a butthole for a while. But you kind of see this explanation, and it gives you a different perspective. Even though he has changed, you see Sasuke in a little bit of a different light. So I really enjoyed that, and probably my favorite part of chapter 699 was the moment where Sakura just got done healing them, and Kakashi's kind of watching them. And Naruto has this big goofy smile, of course. Sasuke has a slight smirk like he's amused, and Sakura's over there crying. But it was cute because they reverted back, and Kakashi even makes a comment, and he says they're back. And he kind of pulls his headband over his eye out of habit, I suppose. And they're Team 7 now. They're Team 7 again, and they haven't been for so long. So it was nice to see that. And then the ending of the chapter was real nice. It kind of has Sasuke. He's getting ready to go out. He's there with Kakashi and Sakura. And it's a nice little moment where he's just kind of like, you know what? I didn't really get to see things the way I see them now, and I want to take this opportunity and finally do it. And Sakura kind of has this moment where she's like, what would you say if I wanted to come with you? And Sasuke tells her, you don't have to atone for my sins. Sakura kind of gets depressed, and then Sasuke says, I'll see you later, and he pokes her in the head. And that's such an important moment, I think, for everybody, just because we know what the head poke means to Sasuke, because Itachi always did it to him. It's his way of acknowledging her and saying, I care about you. You mean something to me. So that was a big moment for me, as well as Kakashi saying, hey, you know, Sasuke, you need to act right, because you're not going to get this opportunity again. And then finally, at the very end of the chapter, Naruto's meeting him. They're kind of talking about it, and he gives Sasuke back his old headband, which was such a cool moment, because it was so symbolic from the very first, I guess, Naruto series, you could say. He had actually got Sasuke's headband, and he kept it for that whole time, because he knew he had the confidence to save Sasuke. So I thought that was really awesome. So now it's time for chapter 700, and the chapter kind of opens up in Konoha, and it says where it all began. Shino, who is an instructor at the academy, it looks like, and he kind of has this visor thing going on. Kind of reminds me of Cyclops a little bit. And of course, still nobody's really listening to him. He's like, the reason is, and the kids are just like, okay, bye, sensei. Poor Shino. And then it kind of introduces obviously Naruto's son, Bolt. He looks exactly like Naruto. He has the face, the hair. The hair's a little bit different, but other than that, spitting image of Naruto. You see this girl kind of looking at him, giving him dirty looks, and he's plotting to do he's plotting to do this big prank, and he's trying to get what looks like, or who looks like, Shikamaru's son to go on to get in on it. And of course he's like, "You're stupid, it's a big day, it's at the Gokage meeting." And then you get to see, I think it's Ino's daughter and Choji's daughter, which is kind of funny and kind of ironic that Shikamaru's son would get stuck with two females on the team, especially since he's always talking about how troublesome women are. I just thought that was in good humor. And the Choji's daughter is just kind of like, "I can't practice today because I'm gonna go eat some dongos with Anko sensei." And then it shows Anko, and she's gained quite a bit of weight, probably because of her love of dongos. And Ino's daughter is just kind of like, "Oh my god, you fatty, we're supposed to go work together." And Shikamaru sounds just like, "Yeah, it's kind of dumb anyway." And then it moves on to like a grave site, which is Neji's grave. There's a little girl putting sunflowers on it, and the little girl is there with Hinata. So Hinata and Naruto ended up getting married and having a son and a daughter. I don't think it says the daughter's name, but she is super cute. She has Hinata's blue hair and then Naruto's face. I think she just looks adorable there. I can't wait to see more of her, and hopefully like the spin-off that they're doing, or the GT, or whatever they want to call it. Next panel you get to kind of see Lee, and it looks like he's training with his son, and of course Lee doesn't look like he's changed much, more manly, but that's pretty much it. And his son looks like he's kind of struggling a little bit. And then the very next panel kind of shows a weapon shop that Tenten runs, and that leads me to believe that Tenten and Lee are together and they have that son together. That's what I'm assuming. If you look at Lee's son closer, it looks like he has Tenten's eyes a little bit. Not for sure, that's just what I'm assuming. We go on to see Boltz kind of walking through the village, disappointed because nobody wanted to join him in his prank, except the little girl is just kind of following him around. And then the next panel, it's Shikamaru's son. It says, "Hey mom, I'm home. Please tell Aunt Ino I'm sick." And, of course, just like his dad, trying to get out of stuff. We get to see Gaara, and his hair's kind of slicked back, and this leads us to the next point. We also see Temari, which means Temari and Shikamaru are a couple, which is something I really did not see at all, but I was very excited to see it. And we also get to see Kankuro, who looks quite a bit older. So that was a little bit surprising. And then we see Akamaru's puppies, I'm assuming. And Kiba, I'm assuming he's single because he's hitting on the cat lady. And he's just kind of ranting on about his, stuff and the Hokages and, trying to show off a little bit, it looks like. Then we see Akamaru, and I'm not gonna lie, I laughed when I saw Akamaru because he's just kind of like old and frail. Like, he doesn't really care. Kiba's trying to talk to him and he's just like, ugh. And then the girl's kind of laughing and Kiba's a little bit upset. Now, we get to see the next coupling that actually really surprised me. It's Ino and Sai. I really did not see that couple happening, and I guess it's because in my head I always thought Ino and Shikamaru were gonna be a couple, even though now that I think about it, these couplings make a lot more sense. And then you also see Choji and his wife Karui, which is I think she's a cloud ninja, and I believe that's the same one that beat up Naruto when B got captured. So that was also an interesting coupling. I did not see that one coming either. Of course, Ino's kind of complaining about the kids and Shikamaru being late to the practice and the kids not showing up, and her daughter's kind of like, "Oh my god, I can't come out here without my other two partners or my mom's gonna kill us." And then you also kind of get to see this little fun part where Ino and Karui are kind of having this little argument. They're trying not to, Ino's trying not to snap, but you can tell she wants to, and I think that it's going to be a fun element maybe in the GT, kind of that conflict between them, because they both have such strong personalities. It'll be fun to see them interact in the future. After that, we get to see Asuma's daughter, which I thought was really cool that they still didn't forget about her and they remembered to put, or Kishimoto remembered to put her in there, because I was actually thinking, I was still wondering whether Kurenai was having a son or a daughter, and it's nice to see that we have a girl here, and she looks like a good little mix between Kurenai and Asuma, but she does really seem to have Asuma's personality, and she goes to say that she's going to kind of go with Kakashi and Gai-san, which means they must have a pretty close relationship. And then of course that leads us to go and see Kakashi and Gai. Gai looks like, I don't know if he's in an old home or what's going on here, if it's just his house, but Guy's obviously in a cast in his right leg, it looks like. And I think that's just from being unable to recover from opening the last gate in the war. And honestly, he should have died, so I mean, it doesn't surprise me that he is kind of a little bit handicapped now. And Kakashi goes on to say, Guy's like, well, shouldn't you be with the new Hokage now? And Kakashi's like, no, old people shouldn't butt in. I wanted to quit and take time for myself so I could have a nostalgic trip. And then Guy starts kind of talking about their first fight. And then we go to the old Kages, and they're kind of having a meeting, and they're like, Inoki's real old and frail too, and that made me laugh as well, just because of, I don't know why old people make me laugh. Yeah. But anywho, I thought it was also funny because we see Tsunade, and she actually looks younger to me than she did in the past. Maybe that's just me thing, I don't know. Next we get to see Killer B, and he's just kind of meditating, it looks like, and still rapping. And he's like, well, maybe I should go give Naruto a visit. And Tails is like, well, he's not fooling around like you, he's busy. And then we get to see kind of somebody tapping on the computer who loves ramen. And then we see, I think it's Shizune and Shikamaru. And they're kind of talking to, obviously, Naruto. And they're like, come on, we need to go, it's late. We get to see the older Moegi and Udon. And they're warning them of, obviously, Bolt is up to no good. And Bolt is out, and he's kind of making drawings on the Hokage's faces just like Naruto used to. And there's this whole scene between Naruto and Bolt where Naruto's like, cut it out, Bolt, what are you doing? And Naruto tells him, you're gonna clean this mess up, right? And Bolt's like, well, if you help me. And this just kind of shows a development in these new characters. Obviously, Bolt is still kind of feeling neglected a little bit by Naruto as his father, because Naruto's so busy at this point. He doesn't really have a lot of time for him. And so I think that's going to be the big development of the new story. And Naruto's like, you know, I gotta be father to everybody, not just you now. And then we get to see Iruka Sensei and Konohamaru, and that was pretty neat to kind of see them come back as well. Obviously, Konohamaru is Bolt's sensei, so that's interesting. And then finally we get to see Sarada, who is Sasuke and Sakura's daughter, come home, and Sakura's kind of cleaning house. She's become more of a housewife, although I'm sure she still trains and whatnot. And Sarada makes a funny point. She's like, boys are stupid. And Sakura's like, kind of like, oh, what did Bolt do now? And she's like, well, you know, I do kind of understand him, though, because of my dad. And then it shoots to Sasuke, who looks a lot like Madara, kind of walking through the woods. And this goes to show that Sarada and Bolt have something in common, because apparently their dads are kind of busy doing their own thing. So that's going to be a new interesting development to see. And then towards the very end, we see Naruto show up late to the very first Hokage meeting. And it looks like Darui is a Kage. Obviously Gaara still is. Oh, and I can't remember the other two's name from the Hidden Mist and the Rock. But they're all there. They're having a meeting, which is just another step to their world peace and Naruto's plan. And then in one of the very last scenes, you see the Hokage monument with Naruto's new face on there, and then you see a whole city in the background, which is really cool to me because it just shows how much development there has been in the past, what, 15-20 years. And then we get to see Kurama. It looks like he's just kind of hanging out. sleeping on the grass, and then we see Naruto's face on the Hokage monument, and on there Bolton wrote, you know, like, shitty dad. And it's funny because he has like the One Piece pirate on his headband, and I just thought that was a little bit amusing to me. But just that last panel there where Bolt wrote shitty dad on there, it's just another step towards the GT, I think, developing that story. And then the very last panel says, once upon a time, there was a fox spirit with 9 tails. A boy had the fox sealed inside him, and the two spent a long time together. A new calamity, the Jubi was revived, but the boy became a shinobi, and together with the fox spirit and the other shinobi, they became one and succeeded in sealing it. The boy with the fox spirit sealed inside him was the son of the 4th Hokage. Now he is called the 7th Hokage. Yay! I can't believe Naruto's over. I thought it was such a good chapter and such a good ending. It was, like I said, definitely not what I was expecting, but a good one nonetheless. So thank you guys for sticking around with me and watching my review. I hope you liked it. I hope you guys stick around. I'm going to start reviewing the anime and Naruto anime and a few other animes. So I hope you guys stick to my channel. Hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.